Greetings, this is June Arthur A. Binayo, enrolled in Stylistics and Discourse Analysis. For today, we are going to talk about the literary analysis paper. So basically, this is a presentation of a conducted online research. So our lesson agenda would be analysis of purpose, style, meaning, context, devices, means used by author, organization of ideas, and word choices, all of which are contained in an analysis paper. So this is a setting application in the course Stylistics and Discourse Analysis. Analysis of purpose. Reading a literature in class requires the students to perform a literary analysis, such that when analyzing something, it entails breaking it down into smaller parts and then examining how those parts function both individually and collectively. In short, the students must read between the lines. Style. The paper is written in an argumentative essay type so as to highlight the elements of the text, such as language, perspective, and structure, and explain how the author employs literary devices to create effects and convey ideas, which are all according to Caulfield. Meaning. It begs the student to ask the questions, how does this piece of literature work? How does it accomplish what it accomplishes? And why might the author have made the decisions he or she did? The answers to these questions will provide the meaning to a literary piece. Context. The analysis concentrates on areas where the students believe the work's value or shortcomings. You might want to consider the background of the author, the time period when he/she wrote the piece, and where did he or she draw inspiration from. Devices. Common devices that are measured in the works of art, specifically in literary pieces, considers the language choices. According to Caulfield, a student must consider the author's linguistic style. Are the sentences brief and straightforward, or complex and poetic? What word choices stand out as unusual or interesting? Are words used metaphorically to mean something other than the literal meaning? Figurative language includes metaphor and simile. Keep an eye out for imagery in the text as well, recurring images that create a certain atmosphere or represent something significant. Remember that language is used in literary texts to say more than what it appears to say. Means used by author. Consider looking at the narrative voice. Who is telling the story and how are they telling it? Is it a first-person narrator who is personally involved in the story, or a third-person narrator who describes the characters from afar? Consider the narrator's point of view. Are they an untrustworthy narrator whose word should not be taken at face value? Or is it more common for serious topics to be treated as funny, or vice versa? Is the story realistic, fantastical, or somewhere in the middle? Organization of ideas. Consider the structure of the text and how it relates to the story being told. Consider why the author chose to divide the text into sections the way they did. There are also less formal structural elements to consider. Is the story told in chronological order, or does it skip around in time? Is it set in the middle of the action, in medias res? Is the plot progressing toward a clear climax? Word choices. They laughed warmly. They laughed heartily. The information in these two sentences is the same, but the words have different meanings. The denotation of a word is what it literally means. For example, the skull is the bone structure in your head. Connotations are the ideas or feelings that a word may evoke. For example, a skull conjures up images of fear, mortality, and death.